Welcome to my YouTube channel, Journey Seekers. Click to subscribe, tap that notification bell for upcoming videos, and press the like button on videos that you love. Today's Empower Your Crown show is sponsored by Fix Your Fungal Nail by Fix Your Feet Productions.
Fix your fungal nails. Fix your fungal nails. Fix your fungal nails and go polish.
So hi everyone, I'm Dr. Yolanda Ragland. I'm your Dr. Foot Fixer. I'm the Foot Fairy and I am queen of all the toes. And as I have been teasing you guys for the last year, I'm coming out with my new product. It is Fix Your Fungal Nail. That's right, Fix Your Fungal Nail. And the reason why I want to launch my Fix Your Feet product with the Fix Your Fungal Nail is because I too suffer with fungal nails. Thank you so much, you guys. I love you all. Thank you for being a Fix Your Feeder, and thank you so much for supporting a business owned by a Black woman. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye.
Fix your fungal nails and go polish. Free.
Journey Seekers, how are you today? I am so honored to be with this king right here, King Jamal Holmes. Thank you so much for being on the Empower Your Crown show today. So Journey Seekers, King Jamal is here, and he is definitely someone everyone needs to contact because he empowers you across the board, because he is the founder of Inspiration Through Information. So welcome, King Jamal Holmes, to the Empower Your Crown show.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen Tasha, and thank you for inviting me, man. It's awesome to be here on Empowering Your Crown. That's such an awesome title. I meant to tell you that.
It's okay. Thank you. So for those who don't know, please let everyone know, who are you? Who are you?
All right. Well, thank you. Well, my name is Jamal, right? But I'm known as Inspiration Through Information on all the social media platforms, right? But I am an individual who has experienced and endured from the bottom to the top, back to the bottom, and I'm at a place in my life to where I believe that none of my experiences should go in vain. Yeah. And it should be shared. It should be delivered to folks so that even if they go through them, at least they be aware of some of the hiccups and some of the falters. And I'm an individual who believes that one's greatest access is themselves, right? A lot of times we put too much energy into other things to make us, forgetting that nothing works without us. Mm-hmm. So if nothing works without us, that means we should be the most important thing in all our journeys, all our goals. And when folks get to understand that their power lies within, they start to look less for external stuff, mm-hmm, as far as to raise their crown, so to speak.
Yes. And that's so amazing because I know that, right about now, a lot of people, they have hardships they're going through. They have a lot of stuff that they're struggling with. And so for you to just come with this amazing platform and try to uplift people to empower their crowns in the process with your story, I think that is just so amazing. I mean, for those who don't know Jamal and I, King Jamal, I affectionately call, you're so beautiful. You're such a beautiful human being because you always try to help others. And I feel that the platform that you came up with is just so inspirational. What kind of information do you give on your platforms?
Well, anything from life struggles to life successes, because I'm a firm believer that all inspiration derives from some type of information, whether you taste it, smell it, see it, hold it, use it. It's based in information, right? And the inspired individual, this is what I've learned, is that information is useless except to the one who is inspired by it.
Okay, so King Jamal, would you please tell us so much more of what you do? Because I love the fact that you founded Inspiration Through Information, but I also know that you're a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and an author of a new book. So tell us more about that.
Okay, well, let's begin with one at a time. Motivational speaker. In my personal life, right, I speak on large platforms. I speak in various platforms, right, and I speak to the reality of life for people, right? Less fantasy, more reality, because one of the keys that I've learned about motivating someone is that you can only motivate a person according to where they at in their life at that time. A lot of times we want to motivate them at a place that they don't exist yet. And then we become frustrated at why they not there. It's because your motivation was centered in who they gonna be and who they gonna become as opposed to who they are, right? So one of the keys that I've learned when I speak, and it's always through own experiences, right?
Right.
I never motivate people through a fantasy that I ain't living, right? It's true experiences, and the account for my life and what I've endured and gotten through is enough motivation for any human being in any life, right? Because I've experienced a lot, not everything, but enough of things that center around everything that exists, right? In my professional life, I work in the fields of mental health. I work in the fields of drug and alcohol recovery, right? And I'm basically like a liaison between society and the forgotten folks. And I don't believe they forgotten, but they are entitled that to most folks, the people who are non-important. And one of the things that I have in my own experience is that I am those people. I just no longer in the state that they are, right? And when you've been somewhere, and when you've been a recipient of some things, right? And then you get an opportunity to be the one who brings awareness to the other side, right? And you don't do it, to me, it means that you getting through it didn't leave the understanding that it should have left, because there's no way that you get out of that or endure those things and they become null and void to the fact that they exist. Some folks do that. Some folks try to forget all that they've been through, right? When they come out of it, so they run from it.
Right, I agree.
Only to wonder why their success is hindered.
Right. To me, it's like giving back in a way. When you do like reflect on your life and share it and just be transparent, which I love about what you do through motivating others. I love that, because a lot of people don't do that. They don't go back. And, it's a humbling process, and it's humbling because you're helping others by telling your story. And I definitely love your story. I love the fact also that you're humble and your accolades that you've acquired. Tell us more about that, because I know you just don't inspire, you just don't motivate. You have some accreditation behind you.
Well, yes, I've acquired some. I have a CRS, CPS, which is a state certified credential, right? That one is for certified recovery specialist. The other one is a certified peer specialist, right? That one falls under the mental health umbrella.
Right.
It entitles me to be able to work in any field of the mental health, right? My CRS entitles me to work in any field of the drug and alcohol spectrum, right? As well as in the prison systems with those individuals. Anything that falls under the word recovery, I can work in that aspect. And the beautiful part about my credentials is that not anyone can get these credentials, right? You can't go to school and get these credentials, right? you have to actually have gotten through these things, right, in order to acquire these credentials. And and that's one of the things that I stand on when I'm sitting in meetings with higher ups and people of the legal field and all that. I constantly humble them by reminding them that everything that they have, I can get. None of them can get what I got unless they go through what I went through. And I don't suggest that they go through what I went through, right? I would never suggest anyone to have to, but if you are enduring that, there's a light for you at the end of the tunnel, right? And I'm not gonna wait till you get out of it to provide you with the light, right? I'm in there with the light, right? Shining it brightly, like this. Eventually your eye is gonna catch the light. Right? And if I keep doing what I'm doing, the light is going to have a powerful enough energetic force that you're going to want to see where the light's coming from.
Right, because you walk your talk. So, I mean, and you do it daily, because when you mention the word recovery, you know, and I don't care what the addiction is, it could be the chocolate. There's so many addictions going on that you constantly have to work on that daily. It's a daily process. So you are not only, and that's what I love about you, is that you not only walk your talk, you still maintain that. You know, I have a saying, anybody can get a job, but not everybody can maintain a job. And you do the work, you put in the work to do that so you can help others. But what's amazing too about you is that you found a way to manifest your business as an entrepreneur. So enlighten the journey seekers who, you know, looking to utilize their talents and gifts that they're born with and wear their crown like you have. Like, how did you do that with the entrepreneur?
Well, one of the things is, and this is for all, right? This is for all. When you're coming out of something or coming through something or getting to a place in your life, right? The most important thing is solidifying your foundation. And in order to solidify your foundation, the first part of your foundation that has to become solid again is your spiritual foundation, right? Nothing happens without spirit. Listen, both good and bad is a spiritual result.
Preach.
It's a spiritual result, no matter how much you go through something, right? Folks misunderstand about addiction, drug addiction, chocolate. It's a spiritual dilemma. It's not like that manifests itself in a physical application, but it's spiritual. So the first foundation is spiritual. And one of the vital ways of establishing your spiritual foundation again is facing the things that shift your spiritual. And a lot of times it's not the things that we see. It's not the things that society has seen. It's the things that nobody know about. The things that has caused you so much shame, guilt, pain. It's that thing, right? And in order to free the spirit, you have to go to the place in where it's locked up at. Right? These are just residual effects, right? Until you get there. So for me, when I got to that place, right, at age 43, yes, no one has to wait that long, right? I had a long process of a spiritual dilemma from the age of 12 to 43. 31 years is a long process, right? But when I got to that place to where the way it was no longer sufficient. I didn't know what the new was going to look like. I just know I didn't want the old no more. Right. So what that did was put my spirit in a place to receive the necessary energy and help and assistance and stabilize. See, a lot of times we get too arrogant thinking that we don't need nobody to achieve help. Right. And guess what? Human life ain't built like that. Nothing in human life is done alone. Nothing. From the time you reach this earth to the time you leave this earth, there's an assistance that's needed along the way, some way, shape, form, or fashion. And when I got to that place through being royally beaten, I'm talking about spiritually beaten, spiritually beaten, right? To the point of where it's like, listen, why is my spirit even holding on? When letting go would be so much easier.
Right.
But it didn't let go. And this is what I tell folks, if you've endured some hardships and you still here, what that means is that the spiritual condition will continue to strangle your ass, but it ain't gonna kill you. Because you have a greater purpose waiting for you.
Absolutely.
And until you get to that place of beatenness to where like, I don't know what my life is about, but it's something, because I'm still here.
Right.
We talking about everything that I did, every act that happened to me were acts and things that could have took my life each and every single time. Yet it didn't, but it left me in places of severe pain, severe spiritual pain. Right?
Absolutely.
So when my foundation came, when that stuff got to the point to where something different, and I opened myself back up for assistance. See, I had to open myself back up for assistance, right?
Yes.
And allow assistance to come in. And it wasn't easy. I fought it. You know, I tell people they don't know what they talking about. You don't know me, things of that nature. But the reality is that I didn't know me either. So I had to have someone help guide me to the place to where I can find out exactly who I am.
Wow.
And that place was back in the place where the falter took place. See, somewhere at age 12, a shift took place. And I've been spending my whole life running from the shift. And in order to stabilize, I had to go back to the point.
You preaching.
Where it changed, right? And,
Yes.
and fear, over the years of fear and not knowing, because one thing about it, I don't care how much you sweep something under the rug. Whenever that rug is lifted or exposed, it's gonna be there, right? And the only way you get rid of it is to actually clean it up, right? And so I had to do that. I had to go to that place, but I was so beaten that guess what? It didn't even matter what that looked like anymore, right?
Wow.
It didn't even matter, but the remembrance, the closer I got to that place, the stronger the pull or the stronger the desire to want to run. See, that's why experience is the greatest teacher of them all, because I could have ran, but I had a memory of what running did to me for 31 years. So I said to myself, like, man, listen, if I run, there's a possibility I'm gonna open up another 31-year can, right? Don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that.
I stayed, and once I solid my foundation, there was nothing left for me to do. I worked various jobs, I did various things, but it wasn't until I actually got into the field that my life had detailed that I started doing something that, listen, felt like I wasn't doing nothing but living my life. And in that aspect, I can honestly say that I have elevated to a level so high with such less time window than a lot of folks with substantial time windows, right? And like I said, it's not my doing, it's the spiritual alignment that was for me, right? I go to work, but I don't go to work, right? No day at work feels like work for me, right? It feels just like I'm living my life. And it's the one thing that will always be a part of my life from this day forward, no matter what I do, right? I also have established my own, entrepreneurship, my own business, right? Along the lines of generational wealth. Right. And in doing that, I had to utilize something that already existed. See, most folks think generational wealth just come out of the blue sky and somebody just drop it on you, right? Wealthy folks have known this secret for many years. Was it kept from us? Yes, it was. And there's an old saying, if you want to keep information from a black man, put it in a book. Put it in a book. Here, never see it, never read it, never come, right? Put it in a book, right? As sad as it may seem, it still holds true to today. And that's not for all of us, but for too large of a portion of us.
Right.
Right. And it's simply, listen, I've learned that the reason why most wealthy people are wealthy is that they were left significant money to allow them to have a startup, right? And if the folks who left it to them was around when they was growing up, the folks started teaching them the method
Right.
of acquiring something, right? One thing I use, and it's through life insurance, right? A lot of people say, why life insurance? Why not life insurance?
Okay. Okay.
Why not? Why not use an avenue that is already provided to you? See, people do not know how that a life insurance policy opens up so many realms. You can use it as collateral.
Right.
You can listen. It automatically gives you an estate.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have a question because you mentioned that you say people, shy away from it, for lack of a better words. I'm just paraphrasing. But you know what I find too, when it comes to the difference between those who have generational wealth and those who don't, is that there's even trauma with money.
Yes.
We need to heal. People really need to heal with their relationship with money. And you mentioned the word manifest. If you want to manifest something, you can't have like a bad perception of money. It will not come to you if it's considered evil or if it's considered something like I know we discussed before, where it's a trigger, where you want to mishandle it. So definitely talk more about that, because to me, that's a stepping stone to get to where you're at, to help people build generational wealth.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's one of that's a current project that is going on now. Dealing with the 5, the series of healing, right?
Yes.
Like I have a 5 portion series of healing, right? From the process, right? The first one definitely entail the importance. And the value in healing.
Yes.
See, a lot of people don't know the importance that healing provides, right? And how much value it adds to your life,
right?
As opposed to take, right? And then the next one is covering one of those things. Financial healing is one of the Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier fights you will have with people, right? And what I mean by that is because most people don't believe they have an issue with money. Right? They got this mindset, I gets money, I has money, I don't have a problem getting money, right? I said, but the problem is, and one of the topics that I share about is that, listen, spiritually, you wasn't taught how to value money. You are what they call a slave to money. Because guess what? Why do you need $1 million for? Because as soon as you get it, you ain't gonna do nothing but spend it trying to be some kind of person that you truly not, right? You're gonna spend it. That's because you still think in poverty. See, poverty says when you get it, you can't take it with you. I'm gonna die, I'm gonna spend it over. You use it. Like, listen, that needs to be healed, right? Listen, there's no need to spend a dime or spend money every time money touches you. Right, you got to start using money so that money can work for you, as opposed to you working for the money, right? It's a lot of our folks are attracted to the sight of money or the glare of money, right? And not knowing that when you get money or you have a lot of money and it becomes a public display to you, you open the door for folks to want to take your money, because there's a lot of folks who don't have money, right? And don't want to go through the process of acquiring money, right? And they say to themselves, why acquire? I'm talking from lived experience, right? I was not always on the positive side of life, right? And stuff like that was attractive to me. Like, listen, why do the work? I'll let you work, get all accumulated money, then meet you in the backyard somewhere, right? Listen, and try to uplift that from you, right? Successful or not. But when we heal, when we go through financial healing, the first thing we gotta accept is the fact that, guess what? Even if my parents did, even if I didn't struggle, right? Listen, I don't know what it is to experience wealth.
Right.
See, honesty and transparency, I don't know what it is to experience wealth, right? To me, $100,000, $200,000, that's not wealth.
Right.
When you think that's money, you've never had wealth. But for someone who, like myself and my family when we was younger, who experienced food stamps, who experienced not getting allowance, who experienced these things, right? That type of money is exciting.
Right.
But if I haven't learned how to manage big money,
Mm.
the moment I get it, so many of our talented folks have lost their wealth. Listen, simple tax evasion.
Mhm.
Oh, the government wait for you to get all that money active, right? Listen, then they come and say, well, you didn't pay no taxes on this, right? And they say, well, the rich learn how to avoid taxes, right? No, the rich learn how to minimize the amount of taxes they pay.
Yes.
See, they don't avoid taxes. They learn how to minimize the amount that they pay, right? We get a lot of money and straight want to avoid taxes, right? We ain't get none of Uncle Sam, right? That says there's some healing that needs to go. Because as long as you live here in these United States of America, there's no avoiding Uncle Sam.
Nope.
You either give it to him now or he takes. See, the problem is when you avoid him, it comes with penalties.
Absolutely.
So now he's taking more than what he should have gotten in the first place. We need to heal from that. We need to learn and understand that money can't become us. We need to learn that, listen, money is not going to shift your spirit one way or the other. And if you're spiritually in a place of resentments, anger, frustration, everything you touch is going to be affected by that spiritual condition. So until you heal there, right? That's why I said earlier, spiritual healing is the first healing that takes place, right? After that, we go through what we call emotional healing. How do we heal from our emotions, right? Because the emotional roller coaster is the wildest ride you will ever ride in life. There's no wilder roller coaster than that of the emotion, right? It has the ability to take you high, low, sideways, crack, all it. Listen, and we have yet to conquer that or learn how to manage them appropriately. Right. Every time someone or something doesn't happen for you, does not require anger.
Exactly.
But 95% of us, our first response to something that doesn't happen for us or go our way is anger.
Right.
Because we have not learned that everything is not for us. Or for us, right? And if we force it, you going what they say, be careful what you ask for because you might get it. Know what you're asking for in life. Know what you want emotionally. How do you know what you want emotionally? First, you got to learn how your emotions affect yourself. Everyone else already know how they affect them. That's why they're getting away from you. They don't affect them healthy, right? But that comes from the spiritual. See, it all aligns with self. Once the spirit finds some balance, emotions start to find some balance. And guess what? Your thought process, which is your mental healing, starts to find some balance, right? Physical healing don't need nothing but time. See, physically, time will heal you physically. Right? Just when it's left alone. The three components require your effort, your input. You got to make a conscious decision to say, listen, I need to center myself. How do I center myself? The first thing we do is we stop entertaining the things that's causing us pain. Whether it's relationship, job, personal marriage. Listen, you gotta stand up and say, listen, even in a relationship, which is a person, when I say relationship, an intimate relationship, which is one of the hardest things to sever. And one of the reasons it's hard for us to sever is because the mind says, shit, I done invested all this time, all this money, all this energy, I ain't gonna just let them cake with all that other stuff, right? We lose focus that none of that stuff should have mattered in the first place. We exchange reality for fantasy. We built a relationship off of the things we have or how good we do, and all this other stuff, right? And then as we grow, we start to find out we not aligning up with each other, right? Listen, but instead of severing, no, listen, I'm gonna make your life hell, right? Because I'm gonna pay you back for wasting my 20 years. When the reality is you wasted your own 20 years. Because you were too fearful to sever. See, people say, how can you be friends after you break up? Easy. If you were friends before you got together, then you can be friends after you separate. If you keep the foundation of friendship in the midst of your intimate relationship.
Absolutely. You are so empowering crowns right now, because you definitely given the spiritual inspiration along with the financial healing in a session. And I love it, because people really need that combination. And I would love for you to be in one of the workshops that I have coming up with shadow work. I know a lot of people call it different things, but spiritually, I call it shadow work, what you're talking about. When you go down to that dark place, and sometimes you find your superpowers along the way. And I really feel that you are definitely giving us life talking about that in Empowering Crown. So thank you for that. I really didn't expect you to talk about that like that, because in the past month, I've been trying to come up with a good name, not to scare people with this workshop I'm doing on shadow work, I should say webinars and free webinars. I really don't want to shy people away from it. And I'm saying, why do people have this issue with transitioning from religion to spirituality when you really can have both? Like, you don't have to give up your religion to go to spirituality. And people get scared when you talk about spirituality. So you talking to spirituality on this conversation through me or a loophole, because you're really confirming a lot how that's where we need to get back to heal. So you're confirming a lot today. I hope everyone is really taking notes, because that's where it starts. That's where you face yourself. So I really applaud that. What I really applaud that we haven't mentioned yet is you're a new author. And please tell everyone the name of your book and how can they get the book. It's, give us the juicy little tidbit details of what the book is about. So I'm excited.
Yes, thank you. And it was exciting. To establish and write a book, right? It's an autobiography, right? It's an account of my life, right? Not every small intricate detail, but the main components of my life, to where things shift and develop and experience, right? And what it is, and I wrote the book for myself. The results for myself was the final cap on freedom.
Wow.
Spiritual freedom from self. Because the contents that's in the book itself are things that had me bondage, things that transitioned, the falter that I was talking about earlier, the spiritual left, the thing where you start running from the pain or the results of the situation, and from the beginning, from the life-changing decision, the first life-changing decision, which I gave a little insight. The first life-changing decision happened at age 12.
Right.
And as I shared earlier, from 12 to 43, 31-year process, right? It happened in child, right? But the 12-year-old life decision was basically due to lack of understanding.
Right.
It was just simply lack of understanding, right? A young 12-year-old child, no matter what I was doing emotionally, I was still 12 years old. Right. And a lot of folks, and guess what? Through those 31 years, I stayed emotionally 12 for a long time, which showed because the reactions to a lot of things and the choices and the decision making was based in that one place of hurt, right? The name of the book is Journey, right? Through the pain into the purpose.
Wow.
Right. So to let folks know that pain itself is really a molding tool.
Right.
That develops one into the perfect fit for when they find their purpose. See, you're like, when do you know you at your purpose? Listen, when nothing that happens in your purpose has you thinking about changing direction.
Gotcha.
It doesn't shift. You just experience it, right? In your purpose. You don't lose the zest, the enthusiasm for what it is you do. As far like for you, empowering your creative. See, once you enter your purpose, yes, you have some hardships. Yes, you have some ups and downs, but it doesn't falter the main goal. Wow. You stay with your purpose, right? I didn't know that in the process. But when you get out of the process, or when you make it through the process, it's for a purpose.
Wow.
And if you get the message or the lesson, you start to walk in your purpose.
Absolutely.
That's what's going on with my life here in the day. What takes place in my life today is just the walking in my purpose. In other words, nigga, the singing, the dancing, the flipping. I'm in the midst of my purpose, so I'm completely protected.
Absolutely.
My purpose protects me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that guess what? I don't make the decision to step out of my purpose.
Absolutely.
So the book was written. It's a small book, right? It's only a 71-page book. And sometimes my wife, my beautiful wife, a lot of them ask me like, but you have so much more to tell.
Yeah.
And like you said a little while ago, I said, yeah, babe. I said, the purpose of my book was not to re-trigger or traumatize someone, because someone may read it, right? And some of the experiences have the ability to traumatize some folks, right? And I didn't want folks to become extremely saddened by my life or by my story. I wanted them to understand that as opposed to saying what's wrong, we can ask folks what happened.
Right, exactly. What happened?
Right, but naturally we say, man, what's wrong with that? Man, but you got to be crazy, man. If we just leave, no, what happened? Right. And my book explains to folks what happened.
Right.
And it also shows accountability. When you get to a purpose, it's no more denial. It's straight accountability. Because a lot of things happened in that 31 years ago, right? Maybe 3 things happened to me. The rest I caused. See, that takes a lot of ways. The residual effect of not dealing with the thing that happened caused the reaction of the things that I imposed on folks. Now, in order to get to that place, like I said, you go back to that point, in order to accept that type of responsibility for your actions, spiritually, you have to be grounded. That's what you have to, because no one wants to look like, wow, I did all that based on that one event. Everyone became a victim from the one time I was victimized.
Right.
My pain became the world's problem because it was unbearable for me to deal with.
Exactly.
But listen, but the spirituality of it, the forces, what I say by the forces, the prayers that were taking place unknowing to me.
Right.
The individuals who really wanted me to be okay as opposed to their prayers and their energies was put into the atmosphere, right? To protect me through all that stuff so that I can get to my purpose.
Absolutely.
Because I'm here to tell you, I know people who are no longer here for less, much less, much smaller, much things of that didn't even make no sense. They're no longer physically here. Right. So this is why when you said the separation between spirituality and religion, in reality, there is no separation.
Exactly.
You can't be religious without having a spiritual foundation.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for that.
Spiritual foundation takes away the borders that religion places. See, religion becomes a structured border. Right. Spirituality just gives you the freedom to live. Right?
Absolutely.
But you can't have a religion. All religions are based off of a spiritual connection.
Absolutely.
It just adds rules and regulations to the thing.
Yeah. And it's like a community. You know, you go fellowship and worship, and when you come out, like you said, you're still dealing with yourself. You're still dealing with and that's the spiritual walk that, like you said, no one else can see it. You know, you can shout in church, you can catch the Holy Ghost, but if you coming out and the rest of the days of the week, you're not upholding, like you said, to your purpose, your spirituality is in conflict with what you are really trying to manifest and live in the purpose. So I thank you so much. I know you just blessed us with your presence, King Jamal. Thank you. And I know event planners and coordinators would love to contact you, along with people who would like to get your book. And I believe your book is on...
My book is located, you can find it on Amazon, Amazon.com, or you can even go to my website, right? My website is inspirationthroughinformation.com, right? You can also find access to my book in my bios on my social platform pages, Instagram, Facebook page, as well as my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Right? You can connect to solo.to, right? /JHolmes 95195, right? And it'll take you right directly to a platform where you can access all the information you need about me, all the social media sites, my book. But if you're just a person who goes directly to Amazon, one of those avid Amazon shoppers, right? You can just type in the title of my book, Journey, right? Through the pain into the purpose, and it'll come up. And you can get it physical, the hard copy of it, or you can get it through the Kindle reader.
Yeah.
But it's accessed there. I implore people to read it, right? Does it provide income for me? Very little bit, but what, like I said, because folks think you get $1 million off of each book that you sell, right? Folks think, I ain't getting no. The truth be told, after all of the taxes and fees, you don't get much. But my purpose for the book was really so folks can get to a place of comfort with the fact that they've been through some stuff. It's okay. It's okay. There is a place for you. And if they connect with me, my job is to inspire you through the information, through your own information. Right? A lot of people don't know they survivors.
Absolutely.
They think the survivor means you had to get over rape or hardship, homelessness. I've experienced all those things. Right? No, listen. Surviving one's own thoughts.
Preach.
Prison, self-imprisonment, right? Listen, engage in your own head for long periods of time, right? Living in a state of fantasy, surviving a fantasy as opposed to your reality.
And living out the purpose of what you're supposed to do in that reality, not like you said, the fantasy. That's just like time being wasted without living in your perfect purpose. So, I mean, would you definitely honor me, please honor me with your presence at workshops that I'm definitely going to have for journey seekers, people, seeking their spiritual journey as well, because what you did today has definitely blessed, I'm just going to say, blessed me, gave me life. And I'm sure anyone watching this, they are totally inspired. You definitely live up to your business, your entrepreneur, title, inspiration through information. So I'm definitely going to
add, if I may, I want to add one thing for the folks too, because at the end of the day, right, to get to that point, folks still want to know how can they establish a way of living financially, right? They can provide for their family, right? They can go to me and my partners called investorlink.com. investlink.com, right? And they can see what it is that we offer. We are looking for partners. Listen, because although technically they would be an employee, we don't want an employee with an employee state of mind. We want an employee with a partner state of mind, because guess what? The responsibility and the individuality is yours, right? There's no cap, there's no limit, or how far you could go. It really doesn't matter whether you extend, but we're looking to bring folks aboard, right? And assist them with the process of establishing and getting their licenses and state licenses, right, to put themselves in a position to be an entrepreneur, establish generational wealth for them and their loved ones, right? Because that's our main purpose, right? Anyone that comes with us, one of the things we stress to them is like, listen, you're gonna live good in your here and now. But if we're not establishing stuff for the folks that you're connected to and that come after you, right, then we're on the wrong track.
Right. And I love
our purpose is generational wealth. That means that when you go, your children should be in a state, your grandchildren should be able to benefit off of that state too, so that we can stop looking for others to treat us with equality and establish equality within ourselves. See, equality is a myth. It's a myth, right? No other person wants you to be equal or wants to extend equality to you, right? You have to establish that you equal without their permission in order for them to respect you as equal.
We definitely going to have to do another show on expanding that part and understanding and healing financially. So I'm looking forward to it. If you are
Yes, always.
All right, so we'll have you back and we will get in more depth about that. But I'm just so honored to have you here today. And I know we're running out of time because we try to have this like an hour show, but you definitely have to come back. But until that time, for all of you journey seekers seeking that spiritual healing, that financial healing, please definitely contact Jamal Holmes, King Jamal. I affectionately call him. The details of his links, social media, how you could contact him are at the end of this video, and it's all in the details and the description of this video as well. So definitely until next time, thank you so much, King Jamal Holmes. You have the last word for the show. Thank you for being on the Power Your Crown show, but you have the last word.
Yes, well, thank you. Thank you for that offer, Queen Tasha. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, right? I have really valued our connection from the beginning to the present, right? And I just look forward for the continuation in what you're doing, right? Because you are an example in a representation of the importance of, no matter what condition you in, your crown should sit up straight at all times. And I very much so appreciate you doing that for myself and for our sisters and brothers alike, right? Be blessed, and until next time.
Peace.
Peace.